Good Lord, it looks even bigger from out here, Philomena said, clutching her expansive skirts with one gloved hand while she braced the back of the other against her forehead. She stared up at the manor.
Are you absolutely sure you didn't forget to tell me you're a duchess or a marchioness or some such?
I swallowed a laugh. I promise, I'm nothing by regular standards.
In witching society, I guess we're about on the level of a viscount?
She glanced at Dad.
I hope you'll forgive me for saying. I have always thought your father would look rather tempting in a proper tailcoat and cravat.
Ugh, I'll forgive you if you promise to never mention finding him tempting ever again. Philomena just smirked at me. It really was a good thing she was only a figment of my imagination, and not someone Dad could actually overhear. Phil's insatiable exuberance had practically made her leap out of the book she starred in during the gazillion times I'd read it in the last 7 years. I hugely admired her habit of speaking her mind, unfiltered, but it wouldn't have gone over any better in my society than it should have in hers, if her Regency romance had been particularly true to reality. Trust me, if you'd met the company I'd had in Portland, you wouldn't blame me for plucking my best friend out of the pages of my favorite novel instead. The girls from the witching families around the city had all been as alternately judgmental and fawning as my older stepsisters. As far as they'd been concerned, I was either a country rube to look down on, or a Hallowell they should suck up to. Sometimes both at the same time, which had thrown more than one of them for a loop. But they didn't matter now. I was home. The staff had opened up the manor's broad front door. Golden light spilled down over the front steps. My gaze caught on the tiny crack that ran through the second from the bottom. How many times long ago had I sat there and traced my finger along that spidery line? A voice that wasn't Philomena's swam up in my head from the past. Are those stairs a lot more fascinating than they look? Or do you figure you'd like to come have some real fun? My fingers curled toward the sleeve of my sweater. I had one of my ribbons wrapped around my left wrist, like always. Rose's little fashion trend. My stepsisters had liked to comment with a giggle. We stepped into the grand front hall. The porters hefted our luggage up the wide velvet-carpeted staircase to the second floor. The cherry wood of the banisters and the wall paneling gleamed. I hope the journey was smooth, Master and Lady Hallowell, our estate manager Meredith said, welcoming us in. She'd come ahead with the rest of the key staff that moved with the family when we relocated from one property to another. They'd have spent all day setting the house in order for our arrival. And for Rosalind, as well. She added with a quick wink. Now with only a few streaks of gray left in her white braided hair, Meredith had been with the Hallowells for generations. You could say she'd raised me, alongside my father. My stepmother considered the grand front hall and sniffed. I don't like to see a painting askew the moment I step inside, she said in the icy voice she usually used when speaking to Meredith. She glanced around to confirm none of the unsparked staff were nearby and motioned to the gold-framed artwork that had provoked her displeasure. The gesture turned into a quick flick of magic. The painting shifted straight, without so much as a touch. Celestine looked at Meredith with a slight arch of her eyebrows, as if to remind the manager that a lesser witch like her couldn't afford to use her own magic that flippantly. I hope the rest of the house is in better shape. Double-check the main floor rooms, will you? The corners of Meredith's mouth tightened only a smidge. Yes, Lady Hallowell. Her gaze slid past my stepmother to my father, the man she considered her real employer. He nodded, but he gave her a wry smile at the same time, as if to apologize. As Meredith bustled away, a sallow, gangly figure appeared at the top of the staircase. I've seen to it that all your office materials are as they should be, Lady Hallowell. Douglas, my stepmother's primary assistant, called down. Excellent, Celestine said with a wave to dismiss him. From the depths of the house, the chime of our ancient grandfather clock rang out. 7 o'clock. A lump lodged in my throat. The familiar smell of the manor, wood polish and aged plaster, had drifted all around me.